here, the morning's here.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Disney Morning Show special Friday edition. Special because we weren't sure we were going to do it, but then we decided to. I am Kyle. I'm the editorial director for Laughing Place, and I'm joined today by our Florida correspondent and chief animation expert, Tony.
Hello.
So, Tony, do we have some hellos to say before we jump into this?
Well, it's not really a hello. Curtis Ashby's kind of pointing out what this
That
is. The Disney Morning Show. But hello to Fred. Top of the morning to you. Good morning to Gio. And Nikki B. Hello. I'm so glad you said that. I think that whenever I hear top of the morning, I also kind of hear that in the back of my head. But it's one of those obscure, like a lot of Seinfeld quotes and references are obscure, but that one is definitely in the even more obscure level.
Yeah.
And good morning to Jeannie.
Jeannie plus plus. All right, well, let's get started the way we do all the time. All right, so when I last did this with Doobie, I guess that would be on Wednesday, the stock price was at $113.40 something. And let's see what it's at now. Ooh, $113.90 is up slightly. It's up on the day, but I guess it was down yesterday and up today. So there you go. Not too bad in the grand scheme of things. And wow, I need to close some tabs, Tony. I got to get on that later. But right now, let's move on to the weather.
You still rock only the one monitor?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All
it's
right,
a Mac. I don't even know if I can add another monitor.
Hello there and welcome to another edition of the LP Disney Weather Report. I thought I saw a man brought to life. He was warm, he came around like he was dignified. He showed me what it was to cry. Well, you couldn't be that man I adored. You don't seem to care what your heart is for. But I don't know him anymore. There's nothing where he used to lie. My conversation has run dry. That's what's going on. Nothing's fine. I'm torn. I'm all out of faith. This is how I feel. I'm cold and I am shamed lying on the floor. Illusion never changed into something real. I'm wide awake and I can see the perfect sky is torn. You're a little late. I'm already torn. Let's get to the weather. Anaheim is sunny today and we'll see a high of 75 that will feel like 75. Walt Disney World will be sweaty today, with the 90-degree high feeling like 98. There's also a chance of isolated storms this afternoon, but it is expected to be dry otherwise. Castaway Cay will be 82 and sunny again today with some light wind. Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point will see a heat index high of 91 today and will be largely overcast. Disneyland Paris is 70 now and falling to an evening low of 59 with mostly cloudy skies. Tokyo will be mostly cloudy tomorrow and will barely crack 80. Shanghai will be rainy tomorrow, with showers turning to thunderstorms in the evening. In terms of temperature, their high will feel like 87. Lastly, Hong Kong will be sunny tomorrow and reach 88 on paper, but that will feel more like 98 thanks to 66% humidity. And that will do it for another Disney weather update. Have a great day and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Tony, we have breaking news.
And it's actually quite literally breaking, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. We got a new poster for Freakier Friday. It's got the same purple and green as we've seen in images of them. But there you go. New poster. But of course, they don't just release new posters. They release new trailers. So let me bring that up and then mute it. And then, it's playing Hot to Go again, Tony.
Oh.
Not Pink Pony. Maybe it plays Pink Pony Club later. We'll never know because I'm not going to put the audio on right now. But yeah, you can check out the new trailer and poster for Freakier Friday. They just released shortly before this program came on.
Yes.
Are you looking forward to this?
I'm kind of neutral on the original, so I'm about the same for this one. I'm not dying to see it, but if I saw it, I'm sure I would just leave it on.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. I don't plan to go to the theater to see it, but
I know people who are going to plan a midnight showing for sure, but I am not one of them.
I gotta say, it's got to be better than Hocus Pocus.
At least they're putting this one in theaters.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't brought back Hocus Pocus 2 like in a like a limited thing. Maybe they will.
Fathom
Maybe this
event?
Halloween. Not even Fathom event, but like those limited 1-2 week things that they've done for like Star Wars re-releases and things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But moving right along,
Steven's
yesterday,
excited about Vanessa Bayer's presence. I'll just add that real fast. Now it's a must see. She's in one of my favorite SNL sketches, the showcase, the showcase Showgirls with Kristen Wiig and Maya Rudolph. She guessed beef when the answer was 9. Anyway, moving on.
Last night we got some news from the Disneyland Resort, starting with this concept art, which is
mostly background building.
Mostly background building, but a new 6,000 spot parking structure and transportation hub, creating an all new experience to the Esplanade, is going to be coming to the resort probably in about 5 years or so. It's going to be built on what is currently a cast member lot on Manchester. It says a portion of everything of this is a portion of.
Yeah.
But a portion of, who knows how big of a portion of that Manchester lot will be this new guest parking structure, and they'll have its own security and everything. And then there'll also be a walkway across Harbor Boulevard over to the Esplanade. And this will actually have access to and from Harbor. So it sounds like you'll still be able to get, if you're walking from a different resort or whatever, you'll be able to get on this and go over, and vice versa.
It looks like a more elaborate version, at least of the Disneyland side, of the earlier announced Eastern Gateway.
Yeah, and the big controversy there was that a lot of the places on Harbor were upset because they didn't think people were going to be going to their business anymore if they were just going to park and go straight over to Disneyland. So they will have access to still go and do that. But what caught my eye is this Disneyland sign, this Disneyland Resort sign, because it's a resort now, not unlike when this sign was here originally. I'm trying to figure out how I can actually scroll over. I don't know if I can. Well, there you go. You can see. I'll just zoom out again. So that looks kind of nice. I did mention in my article that, take all concepts art with a huge grain of salt, but I like the idea of this. But here's the thing, Tony. It's not going to start construction until the fall of 2026, and they said it's a multi-year project. So it's going to be quite a while before this becomes a reality.
Gio also asked, is that a different monorail route? Can you pick that up again? I'll elaborate on this really quick. I spent some time looking at a lot of the art that was released at very close proximity, and the monorail route looks the same. But I think what you're thinking, and this is what I had to clarify with some friends too, is this is the overhead pathway. I'm using my cursor like you can see it. Sorry. By the Disneyland Marquee, that's the pedestrian walkway with that red sign. But it looks like it still comes out at the park and makes that right turn, keeping the same line as it exists now going through California Adventure. And then up against the Grand Canyon and Primeval World diorama there, just ahead of Space Mountain. But short answer, it does not look like it's a different route.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean,
the pathway
very early.
Yeah, and the pathway goes over it, so I expect closures on that monorail at some point.
Yeah, good point.
I think that the pathway was a new monorail route, and I said no, based on the
yeah. But if you're wondering why they would need 6,000 more spots available to them, well, it's because the resort is expanding, and we got an update on one of the much anticipated projects, which is a new Avatar experience. And we found out where that's going to be. It's going to be, so I think it's very interesting wording that the Disney Parks blog, they said it'll be a portion of the Hollywood backlot. And I'm like, do you mean Hollywood land? And I guess Hollywood backlot is a portion of Hollywood land. It's all very confusing. So a piece of a piece of a piece of Hollywood land is what they're suggesting.
That happened a long time ago with the placemaking efforts before they did Buena Vista Street and everything. You would go into Hollywood Pictures backlot, and that kind of went away and it became Hollywood Land with Buena Vista Street. But then there was still another archway that you go under that says Hollywood Studios. And because we have made jokes from Florida all the time going out there, oh, we're home, even though it's just that small corner.
So yeah, so no real updates on this other than that location, except for something that it'll impact that we'll talk about now, because I don't think there was anything else in that Avatar story itself, right, Tony?
No, no opening date, no, just construction starting. But in order to make that construction start, they are closing the beloved, and I say that because I think a lot of people are on the fence on this one. Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the rescue early next year to make way for the new Avatar destination, as they're calling it. But yeah, so this classic 5-year long re-theme of Superstar Limo that became Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the rescue around Disneyland's 50th in 2005. I think it opened in 2006. But so 20 years later, it will see its doors shut. And I think it's kind of interesting, personally, that this is happening as we start launching into the development and construction of Monstropolis, or Monsters Inc. Land, whatever they're calling it officially, at Hollywood Studios. So I suspect we might see some of this kind of go over there. So we'll see, because
I would like that.
Usually on a roller coaster, which is what has been announced for Monstropolis, you don't have enough time to fly by and enjoy a huge animatronic performance. See also the Yeti. It just kind of happens real quick. So they don't need fully developed, like A1000 figures like Hondo or the one on the Navi River Journey. A simple figure that does a little bit of stuff like that could show up there. And if those CDA guys end up popping up, it'd be a weird Superstar Limo connection to the Monsters Inc. Dark Ride.
That would be
or
fantastic.
Monsters Inc. Coaster.
But you know what's not fantastic? This ride. Monsters Inc. is my favorite Pixar movie. I love it. I enjoy this attraction, but no one's saying that this is the greatest one out there. I mean, especially when you're building a Doors coaster, that pathetic little door scene in this ride is just not gonna look good. And like you're saying, the animatronics don't even moves their mouths.
Gio
just have one
too.
of
Yep.
This is my Mike Wazowski.
Yeah.
I don't even think they have alt lines, because I can quote the entire thing. It's always the same every time.
I think Roz at the end has alt lines, because that was part
that
of
does. But it's always
the rest
same
of them do not.
Mike Wazowski, on my birthday, I thought you cared about me. Celia, try to understand.
So tune in later. Kyle will do a members only live stream where he just does a one-man show of the ride.
I will say I liked Maxon's headline about the door closing its doors, but I also wanted him to tweet, Kitty's gotta go.
Oh, that's fair. No, I do know one person who loves it. I said I'm just glad my animation building dodged the bullet that I think is
so far
aimed squarely near it at all times at this point. But one of my friends said, it's not worth losing Monsters Inc. for Avatar. And I was like, you've been on the ride, right? But no,
it's super
when you're leveling up at what everybody wanted from a Monsters Inc. attraction, and we're finally getting that, you can't really fight for the little Monsters Inc. funhouse. So,
yeah, I mean, even Ride and Go Seek is showing its age. That
also coming up.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, Tony.
But in the realm of Pixar attractions,
location for exactly.
Yeah, in the realm of Pixar attractions and locations, we're getting more information about the Coco attraction coming to California Adventure, also promised at the D23 event last year. It was announced that we would be getting a Coco ride, and we only got one image at the time and no further details. And if you look at that picture, we knew it was coming to California Adventure, but it looks like they basically reskinned the Epcot ride, if you think about it. The Grand Fiesta Tour with the 3 Caballeros, where you're in a boat, you're going to a concert of some kind in Mexico, and that's the finale. I'm not saying this scene is the finale by any stretch, but here's a concert scene. Everybody's dancing. We're in a boat. There's fireworks in the sky ahead. Pretty close to it, right? Either way, in terms of the attraction, that's really all we knew. But now we're knowing that it's going exactly where I got to use my favorite quote from Jurassic Park last night. Boy, do I hate being right all the time. Because nobody could figure out where this thing was going to go. And I said it makes sense if it goes in the Paradise Gardens area or near Pixar Pier, because we're not going to have a new Pixar ride someplace other than that, because we already have Cars Land, which isn't in the Pixar Pier area, and we have Monsters Inc., which now we know is closing and not in the Pixar area. But it is going to go squarely where not where I thought it would, but in the same vicinity, right behind what it looks like the Incredicoaster based on the art right there. So it'll looks like it's going to be the backside of it. And then that would put it right around where the parade gate is now at the park with Incredicoaster onto the left if you're looking at that gate, and the Paradise Gardens area on the right, which that area itself is already pretty Coco heavy during events and everything like that. They have the little walk around puppet of Coco, which you could also see in the art straight there. I don't know if you can zoom, Kyle, but it's dead center under that marquee. Yeah. So it looks like a smaller entrance that might even incorporate some of the Paradise Gardens area. I can't tell for sure. But yeah. So now we know, and they just said nothing is closing at this time anyway that we know of for it. It's going to be predominantly built in a backstage area. So which a satellite map shows all that's back there is a road.
So lots of stuff coming, but it will be a while. And the reason that they were announcing all of these projects is because they were discussing Disney's economic impact. They just released a new report that seeks to figure out how much Disney's. So this is both direct and indirect economic impact, not only in Southern California and Central Florida, but the entire country. And the number they came up with for the annual impact is $67 billion. If you're keeping score, that's as much as consumers in 2024 spent on Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, and Halloween spending combined. Almost. That comes out to like 70 something, and this is 67. It's a little short, but still impressive. And they found the jobs directly and indirectly supported by Disney's parks in America, about 403,000. So yeah, very interesting. You can go through all the numbers on our site. They had some other interesting stats, but to explain the direct and indirect, so beyond just people that they actually employ, they're like, okay, well, if you're staying at a hotel because you're visiting Disney and it's an off-property hotel, then the staff of that gets counted in and stuff like that.
I was wondering where that number came from. I had a very Shark Tank thought in my head go through where it was like, where are you getting this valuation? So
yeah, I mean, even then, I'm sure there's more of an algorithm. I don't think they're counting every single employee because it's not like everybody visiting that hotel is going to Disney. But they did partner with a company that does this for a living. So
Gio asks real quick, are they going to have Dante represented as a potted plant when he's broken? Then probably.
But the other reason that they were announcing all of this was because it continues to be Disneyland's 7th anniversary.
Yes, and as such, there is a historical exhibit featuring props and goodies, and
all the best exhibits get placed into restaurants.
Delights, yeah, into restaurants. And I'm guessing this is the lobby. I wish we had more clarification on that from our man in the streets out there. But it does appear to be the lobby of the Carthay Circle Theater in the little windows there. And there's all kinds of different fun stuff. The one thing I liked that I saw was the Atomobile from Adventure Through Inner Space that goes up into the. But I keep seeing those things everywhere, so I need to know how many of them that existed, or is it like the same 3 just on different exhibit tours? Nikki pointed out as well. It appears that they also have the top hat that Sam the Eagle, not the Muppet, wore in America Sings. Just all kinds of fun stuff that everybody who loves the park will enjoy. Yeah, there's the hat.
Yeah, and I assume that you can just walk in and take a look at this, even if you are not eating at the restaurant.
Yeah, and if nothing else, say you're going to the bar. There's a bar right there on the left you don't need a reservation for, or at least you didn't last time. Nikki B, I always thought those people were real in the Atomobile. I hear stories like that all the time. I'm old, but not young enough to have experienced that.
Could I possibly survive?
I do love the narration, though, and my wife hates it just because I love it so much. That means she hears it all the time.
Speaking of surviving, Earl of Sandwich is surviving at Downtown Disney as they will eventually build their new location, which is underway. But before that, they've announced that it looks like this location, which was always meant to be temporary, will be closing, including the tavern. And as a result, they'll be laying off It says almost 200 employees, 160 something is what they're planning to, and it says they're planning to start that process in July. It should end in August. That kind of gives us a time frame of when this closure is supposed to happen. But don't worry, Earl of Sandwich will be back. Hopefully, if those people, hopefully it's not too long. So if they get laid off, they can come back. But we'll see about that.
Now that's the area that I think we've calculated,
going to
or
be
maybe
a
it was announced.
Portos
It's going to be a Portos. Okay, is that official? Like
That is, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
because I
That's
remember
why
it
it's
was kind of
closing,
like
is because it's claimed by Portos. Portos just took, because I think it was at the
how many years? 2017.
It was
I think
the
is when it
2022 one.
20 was it? I thought it was way later, or I thought it was way before that. That was like 2019 or
I mean, maybe there were
2021.
rumors before that, but I feel like 2022 Expo, it was still called Expo then, was when they gave out treats to everybody at that parks presentation. Which
Yeah,
I
no.
got some, even though I didn't go to I was at the booth. Yes, that's how when I think about each Expo year, I think of where I was on the show floor for Laughing Place.
That's fair. There are other things I've done like that where I'm thinking of that same thing. So,
but then back at the East Coast to round out this segment, this is kind of an interesting story, Tony.
So yes, there is a special pass holder meet and greet coming to the Germany Pavilion at Epcot. Guess what character you're going to meet, Kyle?
Well, I already have my guess.
Okay, well, just fire off a random name other than that guess. Figment. Yeah, we don't know. So they have not announced any character.
But they're anticipating big lines.
But they're anticipating big lines because it's supposedly a very popular character. We don't know for sure. This all starts on, June 9th and running through July 31st for pass holders in the Germany Pavilion. Unknown character. Other than that, it's a popular character. But everybody has a certain thought. I think you have it. I know Trisha had it. Is yours the same
Tony,
as Trisha's?
This is in the Germany Pavilion. What's the name of the place where this character is going to be?
That's a good point. I forgot to mention that part. Dar Teddy Bar or something like that.
I wonder who could be meeting at Dar Teddy Bar, who, as this photo says, all of their friends are famous. Which that's kind of a weird one. So we think it's Duffy, basically.
Yeah, basically. Spoiler: it's probably going to be Duffy. We think.
All my friends are famous is kind of a weird thing to say, but I can't think of another franchise. Like you have Mickey and Friends, and then you have Duffy and Friends. Like it's weird to bring up the word Friends otherwise.
It's all my friends are famous, or is all my friends are famous some kind of quote?
I don't know.
So I also was wondering. I thought too before I even processed it, like you guys did as well with the teddy bear connection. Phineas and Ferb right now are at Epcot, and they pulled in, at least on the first day, a 3-hour wait. So I was like, well, they're moving them back there, but they can't do that for pass holders only. That seems kind of dumb. But I could absolutely see it being Duffy. I agree. It's probably going to be Duffy, but that's not confirmed. That is just us speculating 100%. But
yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it. I would imagine maybe like,
Duffy.
When does this start again?
June 9th.
Okay, well, I was going to say they'll announce it on Monday, which will, they will, because that's when it starts.
Yep.
So keep an eye out for things. But before we move on, let's take a look at the Disney Plus top 10 full MA strength. In first place, the original animated Lilo and Stitch, followed by Captain America, Brave New World, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Stitch the movie, Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel, still not shipwrecked, Leroy and Stitch, Grown Ups, The Parent Trap, Grown Ups 2, and The Devil Wears Prada.
There's some random ones in there.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Is that the TVMA one, or?
Yeah. So no TVMAs in there. It's very family friendly right now.
Leroy and Stitch took out Dr. Odyssey. Okay.
Yes. Well,
good to know.
On today's Around LP, I wanted to highlight an opinion piece that our own Mike Celestino wrote. There are rumors out there that once Kathleen Kennedy retires, Dave Filoni and Carrie Beck will be promoted to co-presidents of Lucasfilm. So Mike takes a look at whether or not he thinks that will be, and if so, what his opinions on that are. So you can check that out right here on Laughing Place, except that you're not watching on Laughing Place, you're watching on YouTube. So you can go over to Laughing Place.
Did you skip a section?
We go back to it. Sorry, I should have
Okay.
put that on the notes,
Okay.
but if there's no reviews, we skip to around LP and then go to the
I'm new
this
here.
one.
And the rest.
Yeah, I thought about that I should have put that for you. But anyway, yeah, I would never skip this story for you, Tony. I knew as soon as I put it in this rundown that it was going to be a Tony story.
Yeah, so yesterday, Dollywood announced that a special documentary that was made for local partners and affiliates, so probably just like your local syndicated station or whatever up in the Pigeon Forge, Tennessee area. Special 40-minute little documentary about the history of the park, which is celebrating its 40th anniversary, has arrived, and they've shared it on YouTube. So anybody who is interested can go ahead and go check it out. It's a lot of talking heads. I didn't do a formal review of it, but I did kind of like a little quick review. It's a lot of talking heads, but the beautiful cinematography of the Smoky Mountain landscape, as well as all the cool archival footage that they use, actually makes it a really good documentary. They're also pretty candid in how they talk about the history and evolution of the park too, which I enjoyed as well.
Starting as when it is Dollywood?
No, it jumps back to when it
$1
was Silver Dollar City as just like the little road stop attraction before people went to the caves. So in Missouri, and then how they brought it to Tennessee. So
very cool. Well, I'll have to watch that because
Silver Dollar City.
Silver Dollar City
don't get too excited. It is kind of like the Cliff's Notes, and then now Dolly's here.
Oh, so. I know. I didn't expect this, but we got a trailer for the new Pro Shot Frozen, which was a Broadway show. This is actually the leads from the London production. But this is going to be coming to Disney Plus, as you can see, on June 20th. I found out in this that this show has 12 extra songs.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I didn't know it was that many. I just knew there was other ones.
Yeah, so kind of crazy. But anyway, you can watch this on June 20th. It looks pretty cool. The Broadway show kind of got a short shift. It got closed during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because they were just like, yeah, well, we don't know when this is coming back, and having 3 shows is going to be a lot to support.
So I'm curious now. This might require a deep dive later on when our CEO is not paying me to do it, just because it's my own interest. Frozen, the animated movie, starts off very much like a Broadway musical. Here's a song every 2.5 minutes, and then it just kind of abandons that idea and goes back into later on, with the exception of like Let It Go is later on in the film. But it's the first act is mostly singing, and then it just kind of stops. So I'm very curious if those 12 songs were part of the development process of the rest of the movie.
Probably that would make sense. And then also, you're expanding it from a 90-minute film to a 2.5-hour show.
So Fred also points out the arrival of that on Disney Plus is June 20th, which is the same day as Elio. So I will not be watching Frozen the musical. You'll
probably see that Thursday night, though. If not before.
If not before is the key, but yes.
Well, finally, we like to keep up with the Annette's Diner Burger of the Month at Disneyland Paris. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this. This right here is the Elvis Burger.
Why you got to ask me this when I'm hungry, by the way? So anyway.
Sorry, me too, dude.
Yeah.
This is available now. Started yesterday, goes through July 3rd. Here's what it's got. A cereal bun, which I don't think they use the word cereal. I think they just mean like wheat. Cereal bun with beefsteak, again, just a burger, avocado cream, crispy bacon, melted cheddar and pepper jack cheeses, plantain, caramelized onions, and Lay's chips on top. And then a touch, all complemented by a touch of peanut butter. What do you think?
There's a lot in the middle there that I'd probably just say, hold that. Peanut butter on a burger seems a little strange to me. Have you ever had that?
I don't know if I've had. The closest I've come is kind of like, if you ever get like Thai food with a peanut sauce, you end up eating peanut butter on things that you wouldn't expect, including beef. So I guess
fair enough.
Well, not beef. I guess you could put it on beef, but
a lot of that sounds good to me, but a lot of it also would definitely get held. But yes, it is very American of us to hear cereal bun, and I don't know where your brain went, but I thought like Fruity Pebbles on a bun.
Yeah,
But okay,
marshmallows and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
So anyway, this is available. It's served with sweet potato fries, by the way. €23 for that
Nikki B
burger
says
and
that's going to
fries.
be a no. Also, for her, Gio said it's called the Elvis Burger. I have thoughts about that, mostly involving my heart stopping, but I will leave them alone.
Pa 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 the fun stuff.
Well, today's fun stuff is it's going to start off with what I like to call barely, barely. And that's we look at some of the merchandise that we've spotted. This is in the parks. New Winnie the Pooh items, which off the bat, I really enjoy this Disneyland Resort. Very simple, just Pooh Bear on a Disneyland shirt. I like that. But let's take a look at some of the other stuff. 100 Acre Honey Club. I think we've seen this on Disney Store before. Not a fan.
Did they go down to the Honey Club?
The Pink Honey Club?
Yeah, well, I was trying to think of something.
Who's Honey Club?
Yep. Yeah, there you go. There we go. Perfect. Kyle and I belong in a writer's room somewhere. Moving on.
Dude, I have anything with like the 4 syllables. I sing to Pink Pony Club lately, including my dog. I'm just like Pink Rigby Club. Doesn't even make sense. Pink Pony, either Pink Puppy Club or Pink Rigby Club.
Well,
just all the time.
Pooh's Honey Club is going to be the next one. I love that shirt though.
Yes, 100 Acre Wood shirt. The map that you'd get in the beginning of the book, like I remember as a kid. Piglet popping out of a pocket. It's just a big shirt with a big Tigger on it.
I lost him.
This is pretty. That's fine. It's a dumbed down version of the cool shirt. And yes, of course, some lounge flies that also look nice. So you can find all of these photos over on our site, and you can find those at the World of Disney. Probably coming soon to Disney Store. I think some of the stuff is there, but not all of it. So, but now we have a pocket pic. We don't. I skipped it.
Nope, you
For
skipped
real this
one.
time.
Okay.
I skipped it. Yeah. Anytime Tony. Well, I was like, yeah. Sorry, I was gonna have this earlier in the show and I forgot. So anyway, so Tony, we talked about this happening, but now we have our own video of it.
We have our own video of it. Rex is now appearing at Pixar Pier at Disney California Adventure. Previously, he made his meet and greet debut. Actually, I don't think he could even meet and greet. I think he was just in the show on the Disney Cruise Line during Pixar Day at Sea. But now he is at the park meeting and greeting. And we have our pictures and video of it. Do we have a video? Where's the video?
We have a video. Yeah, I just need to
roll the clip.
Not very convinced by these arms. They're doing the best to try to keep them up like that, but I'm just like seeing a person in a green suit.
For sure.
Like, hey.
So I don't know if you've ever seen the Rex that was in Toy Story the musical. Don't get me started on the Disney Wonder on the cruise line. But it's a far better interpretation of Rex than that costume was. That said, I don't know. Will we see him out here? I'm curious out here being Florida because Partysaurus Rex is the host of H2O Glow Nights at Typhoon Lagoon. So if anywhere, I would anticipate there. Just got to put his little Viking helmet on.
Yes. All right, Tony. I'm going to attempt here. Let me load this first.
Okay.
Let's go. Here we go. See, gotta close that. All right, now you can offer your commentary on what you said if this happened to you.
I put this on my personal story as well. If I saw that going down the street, every intrusive thought and lesson I learned from Mad Max would take over. And if my wife were in the car, she'd have to like be doing one of these things where she's trying to put her feet on the pedals and maintain
I figured you would just
it would be
keep
full
saying the word family to her.
It would, even that too. Full heist as best I can do. But yeah, so what would you do if you saw Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin truck cars heading down the street?
I wouldn't heist them, but I would do what this person did, which is video it and be like, I have a viral TikTok.
I don't know if it's viral by most standards, but it
It'll
definitely
get
got my
stolen by
attention.
something more and become viral.
Yep.
That's funny.
And I have to call this out. Sorry, Nikki B. That's not Benny. It's
Lenny.
Lenny. Do you know
Lenny
the story
and
behind that? The story I've heard a few times. I don't know if it's true. It could just be, one of those legends that come out of Imagineering. But I had always heard that he's Lenny because they made the ride and put Benny in the ride. So you're in Benny and then you see Benny. And they said, well, that can't happen. So they named all the license plates Lenny instead.
There you go.
So.
All right, Tony. Time for your quiz.
Okay.
On this day in wrong document. On this day in still not on the right document. 1967. I didn't look up photos for these, so we're not getting photos.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. 1967. Someone was born. His Disney credits include Saving Mr. Banks and apparently Jungle Cruise, but he's best known for a movie that is in the Disney canon because it was a Fox Searchlight movie. And I will tell you this now. He's not drinking any Merlot.
1967.
He was born in 1967.
Say Mr. Banks.
Yes.
Paul Giamatti.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you believe he's only born in 67? Like, the fact that Giamatti's younger than my dad's a little weird.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah.
Like 10 years younger than my dad. On this day.
Merlot's a good one. That was kind of what pushed me towards Paul Giamatti. But yeah.
Yeah, I could have just said the name of the movie was Sideways, but that's no fun. 1987, an attraction at Disneyland replaced another similarly named attraction at Disneyland. Mostly due to a change in sponsorship.
Yes, that was my first idea. 1987 at Disneyland.
Pretty sure it's Disneyland. I should probably double check that. It might be Disney World. I'm sorry. I'm failing.
Okay.
I thought I knew, and now I don't because I'm stupid.
It's not 87.
Unless I wrote it down wrong.
89.
Also possible.
Was it?
Well, this is a slightly differently named.
Yeah, was it Country Bear Jamboree to Country Bear Playhouse?
No, that's a good guess. Let me double check my my work here because again, I'm stupid. 1987. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It is Walt Disney World. My apologies.
Then that's if you had wings to.
Yeah, if you could fly.
If you could fly.
Replaced if you had wings.
Yep.
But
as soon as you said mostly because of sponsorship, that was what I thought. Yeah, and then it became Delta Dream Flight, and then Take Flight, and now Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know why I thought Disneyland. Finally, 1997, a famous Touchstone film, action, oft-quoted, ridiculous, oft-quoted and oft-cited as like just a ridiculous action movie.
1997?
Yes.
Con Air.
Con Air
is
the correct answer. And that will do it anticlimactically for our. Let me check our.
I don't have a bunny to use for the Con Air guess.
But put the bunny down. See if there's anything on. You can stream the Fantastic Four theme right now on your favorite streaming platforms. So there's that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything you want to add, Tony?
No, but I agree with Gio to cover up your flub there. We'll just say Doobie wrote it. So.
We'll see. I wrote it down. I just didn't put where it was. Will we be back on Monday? That's a great question. Let me take a look at the schedule right now and tell you whether there will be a show at all.
If there is, it's not going to have
possible me in it. Oh, nope. I'm looking at the wrong day. Hold on. Let me go to the next Monday. It is well, it is. We are short-staffed. I can try to do a show. We'll see what happens. But there is no trivia tomorrow unless you go to Dayton, Ohio on Sunday. And then you can go see trivia with Doobie and Gideon. But there will be no streaming trivia tomorrow. So yeah, everyone have a great weekend. What? Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say they should have live streamed it from there. That would have been a cool event. But
I think it was something that they were working on. I don't know where it ended up. So maybe you'll be surprised on Sunday. But anyway, hope everyone has a great weekend. I will see you, if not Monday, then hopefully Tuesday. And if not Tuesday, then hopefully Wednesday. But we'll see you real soon.
Bye everybody.
Oh, I